Noliachta Corky. Guests, parents, graduates and friends, you're all very welcome to the Cork Institute of Technology for this conferring ceremony. My name is Noel Barry and I'm the chair of this particular conferring. The ceremony today is available on the web with a link from the main CIT webpage www.cit.ie/live. So text that on now to any family member or someone, any place in the world that you want them to look at you receiving your parchment. So feel free to do that right now. It's also available on the YouTube, CIT YouTube, after this event. So www.cit.ie/live if you want to text it now or email it, and then please put your phone on silent. In the interest of your safety, please be aware of the nearest exits to you. In each corner of the auditorium, each corner, I'm pointing to them there now. So just have a look to make sure you see which one is near you. There are no evacuation drills today, but in the unlikely event of there being an alarm or something like that, you will be told from the podium here what to do. If we do have to evacuate, please leave quickly, but without infringing other people and things like that. Do not try to re-enter the building unless advised to do so by the safety response team. Please keep aisles and passageways clear of belongings during the conferring. Also, if anyone needs assistance during the conferring, please let a steward know and we will endeavour to assist, and especially the graduates going up to the stage. So if anybody needs any assistance, just let us know. Someone with a broken arm or crutches or something like that, just let us know and we will take care of that situation. At the commencement of the conferring ceremony, the academic procession will process up the centre aisle to the platform here, and I will ask you to rise when that is happening. Similarly, at the end, the academic procession will leave, and I again will ask you to rise. And then I will ask you to sit down by just doing that with my hands. Today's conferring ceremony is chaired by Mr. Gerard O'Donnell, Head of the Faculty of Business and Humanities. Shortly after the commencement of the conferring ceremony, the President will deliver a short introduction empowering him to make awards. When he has finished that introduction, each row then of the conferees will be directed to go down the centre aisle, down there, and queue up here to come up the ramp. Now I would ask you, of course, to vacate your seat quietly and and all that, and I'm sure you will. You'll be directed by the stewards. Now please stay in the order in which you are seated, as parchments are in that order. When you approach the platform, please remain at the bottom of the step with one leg on it, please, until your head of department announces your name. Then proceed up to the steps, to the platform here, to the President to receive your parchment. In the unlikely and very unlikely event that you are given the wrong parchment, please don't panic. Just tell your course coordinator and we'll get that issue solved. You return to your seat going down over here at the right of the pillar, down here, and then you go back to your seat as directed again by the stewards. Please just watch your gown going up the steps, not to get caught in anything, or indeed in other areas too. And please be aware of the little small steps, about half-inch steps there, and the carpet with your shoes and your footwear. Photographs are being taken by Barry's Photography, which are here on my left, and please don't forget to look at them, and if you wish to smile, please do so while you're receiving your parchment. Now, I'd love to get 2 volunteers to assist me. Would you please? And the lady maybe there. And I'll just call out names for you and I'll show you how you get your parchment. And we'll just go to it. So I'll call the first person, Jack O'Brien. Miriam O'Callaghan. So you can see the drill there. One thing we don't do, though, is clap each individual, because the first person of the 300 or odd people that we have here to be conferred will get a magnificent clap, but the last person will only have the mum and dad or the partner giving the clap. So please, what we're going to do is we'll ask each class then to rise, and we'll give them an ovation. So we'll give them their ovation now for being conferred. And that's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Now, very shortly, we're going to have the start of things, but let me just tell you about a few other things that are happening. Individual photographs are taken out in the James Barry. You'll see the little marquee out there. There'll be a queue to get into that. So you can, instead of queuing, why don't you go over to the reception at the end instead, over in the west atrium of the original building. And you can enter that either at the door on the west side, that's that side, or on the east side from the main corridor. So there's a reception over there, and you can meet up with your son or daughter or your partner, whoever the case may be, over there after they got their group photograph, because all the graduates are brought through the gym here to get their group photograph. And there's not room for guests to go in there. So you'll actually go over directly to the reception, or you can wait just outside the gym, just outside there. We're fortunate today that it's a dry day. Now, I'm just going to see how is the procession getting on there. I wonder, are they kind of getting ready? I'll give it another minute there now, I think, you know. Our guests are welcome to join us at the reception in the West Atrium while the group photographs are being taken, or else you can wait at the marquee, as I was saying, outside. The reception is in the original building, and you can enter it through, as I was mentioning, the west door or the main corridor. Also, there is a service of Thanksgiving for graduates, parents, and family members in the college chapel. On the D corridor of the original building. And you might like to call in there, and there'll be someone there at 2:30 to lead that Thanksgiving little ceremony. It's a very short one, I gather, 2 or 3 minutes. So 2:30 on the D corridor. Now, I would like to ask you to rise as the academic procession is about to enter the auditorium. I call on Mr. Gerard O'Donovan, Head of the Faculty of Business and Humanities, to commence this conferring ceremony.
Graduates of CIT, members of governing body, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this meeting at which awards of Cork Institute of Technology will be conferred on students of this institute. Our guests on the platform are, on my immediate left, Mr. Brian McGrath, Head of the School of Business, on my immediate right, Dr. Barry O'Connor, President of CIT, and on my far right, Dr. Anya Nihay, Registrar and Vice President for Academic Affairs, CIT. Our guests on the rear platform are members of the governing body and members of the academic staff of CIT. I call upon Dr. Barry O'Connor, the President of the Institute, to confer awards on the learners presented by the Institute for that purpose.
Good morning, Garrod, and you're all very welcome this afternoon to this great celebration. Before we celebrate, we do the official business. So, our Ceann Institute, agus de Harfa and Udaraj, a harmonic toriti der Alta Quagatri, the Achtum Chailiachti, agus Jarvu Chailiachta, Idicus, agus the Leont, Gavilis Doyog. Bonham, Davachini, all more in the Institute, Tartaration Kaidan, and a Kinogag in Todaraj Shin of Wintermach. Agus Iram, go give for the following Orishin and Malahir, Honabar, Herbert Doiv, go for the mule. On behalf of the Institute, and by virtue of the authority delegated to it under Section 53 of the Qualifications and Quality Assurance Act, Education and Training 2012, I hereby confer awards on the learners of the Institute who have achieved the standard determined by the authority for those awards, and I ask that those learners be presented to me so that I may formally present them with their parchment.
I call upon Mr. Brian McGrath, Head of the School of Business, to commence the conferring in his school.
The School of Business consists of the Department of Accounting and Information Systems, the Department of Management and Enterprise, the Department of Marketing and International Business, and the Department of Organisation and Professional Development. I call upon Ms. Caroline O'Reilly, Head of the Department of Management and Enterprise, to present the candidates from her department. Awards will be made in respect to the following programmes in this department: Bachelor of Business Honours, Bachelor of Business in Business and Management, Bachelor of Business in Management, and Higher Certificate in Business.
President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Management and Enterprise and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Business Honours, and I request you to present their parchment to them. Peter John Abernethy. Niamh Catherine Mary Barrett. Kira Patricia Basang. Sonia Brady. Alan John Brosnan in absentia. Francis St. John Bruin. Zoe Marie Buckley. Amanda Margaret Budden. Robert Timothy Cahalan. Fergus Patrick Casey. John Patrick Collins. Paul James Collins. Carrie-Anne Louise Corcoran. Killian Connor Costigan. Kelly Mary Cotter. Sean James William Cotter in absentia. Aoife Teresa Kremen. Colin Crowley. Keith Patrick Daly in absentia. Wesley Philip Delaney. Louise Gobnett Desmond in absentia. Anthony Martin Deneen. Liam Michael Donnelly. Brian John Donovan. Jennifer Dolan. Alan Joseph Dunlea. Lauren Kelly Falvey. Martin Gerard Flynn. Rory William Frahel. Lorraine Ann Geary. Kieran Glavin in absentia. Daniel Noel Hanlon. Mark Heffernan in absentia. Jennifer Hickey in absentia. Frank Thomas Hogan. Rachel Marie Harahan in absentia. Philip Joseph Kavanagh in absentia. Danny Kazadi in absentia. Emma Margaret Keane in absentia. Kieran Joyce Keating. Laura Anna Keneally. Ingrid Loretta Kearns. Antonin Kiefer. Mary Maeve Kiley. Eileen Laura Kiernan in absentia. Erica Kotliubo. Damien Lacey. Erica Ann Lawton. Donna Patrick Leahy. Michael Patrick Leahy. Philip Brendan Leahy. Philip was a student of CIT and your classmate for the last 4 years. We especially remember him today on this occasion. Darren Joseph Lynch. Samuel Declan Line in absentia. Bethany Marianne Mackey in absentia. Kelly Marie Marr in absentia. Michael James Marr. Grace Joanna Mason. Christopher Sean McAuliffe. Aidan Christopher McCarthy, in absentia. Cian Paul McCarthy, in absentia. Patrick David Mulcahy. William Joseph Mulligan, in absentia. Joanne Marie Murphy. Sarah Caroline Murphy. Alice Murray. Jennifer Nelligan, in absentia. Amanda Marie Nolan, in absentia. David John Nolan. Edward Robin Noonan, in absentia. Cian Oliver O'Brien. Donal Finbar O'Brien, in absentia. Miriam O'Brien. Natalie O'Brien. Simon Patrick O'Brien, in absentia. David John O'Callaghan. David Morris O'Callaghan. Thomas James O'Connell. Ciara Michelle O'Connor. Hugh James O'Connor. Mairead Bridget Maria O'Donoghue, in absentia. Margaret Ann O'Donovan. Edward O'Flynn. Courtney Edwina O'Keefe. Darren Leslie O'Keefe. Niamh Sarah O'Leary. Emma Denise O'Mahony, in absentia. Finbar John O'Mahony. Alexander Michael O'Neill. Connor Noel O'Neill. Shane O'Neill, in absentia. Mairead O'Reilly. Katie Maria O'Riordan. Dwyrn O'Rourke. Connor Joseph O'Shea. Christopher Joseph O'Sullivan. Mark Timothy O'Sullivan. Tig Anthony O'Sullivan in absentia. James Phillips. Louise Power in absentia. Colin Robert Remo. Wesley Peter Ronan in absentia. Aoife Julie Ryan. Daniel James Santry. David Scanlon. Amelia Bridget Sheehan. Anna Greta Sheehan. Emma Louise Sisk. Katie Mary Sullivan. Jadwiga Kinga Sermayak. Jacqueline Alexandra Sutton. Sweeney. Lorna Elizabeth Toomey. Cian Vilman van Wijnen in absentia. Christine Margaret Walsh. Finbar Michael Walsh in absentia. Robert Shane Walsh in absentia. Michael Adrian Welton in absentia. Patricia Mary White. Fionn Omaraku. Now, would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Business Honours please stand to receive their ovation? President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Management and Enterprise and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Business in Business and Management, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Robert Sampson Mbunge. Colin Brendan Barry. Vladimir Beluski. Natalie May Bennett in absentia. Selena Birmingham. Corey James Brennan in absentia. Sigolini Boucher in absentia. Liam Christopher Byrne. Michael Patrick Byrne in absentia. Aisling Marie Cahalan. Nicole Mary Cahill. Ryan Anthony Cahill. David John Canty. Jessica Kathleen Casey. Grace Loha Shabe. Anushka Margot Clo in absentia. Maria Margaret Corigliano. Jessica Creed. Jean de Silva Ferreira. Nicole Mary Daly. Aisling Nora De Corsi. Vitalik Dektarev. Adam Allen Devlin in absentia. Fanula Dillon. Aisling Michelle Doyle. Ryan Peter Fenlon in absentia. Erica Figueredo. John Gerard Flanagan in absentia. Craig Timothy Foley. Evan Brian Foley in absentia. Nicole Furlong. Orla Dempna Gainey. Sarah Lee Gainey in absentia. Natasha Healy. Samuel James Hegarty. Mark Anthony Higgins. Tara Higgins. Lisa Ann Hitchmock in absentia. Aoife Patricia Horgan in absentia. Carl Horgan in absentia. Liam Joseph Howard in absentia. Connor Michael Jordan in absentia. Lauren Helen Kavanagh. Niall Kevin Keane in absentia. Liam Bernard Carney. Brian Allen Kelly. Niall Gerald Kelly in absentia. Owen Gerard Kennefick in absentia. Connor Kieran Kingston in absentia. Karen Marie Lane. Sam Lewis in absentia. John Patrick Lenihan in absentia. Clara Lopez. Katie Ann Lowes in absentia. Kotaz Marie Solange Leah in absentia. Jessica Carmela Manley. Stephanie Julatan Perret Marshall. Daniel Austin McCarthy in absentia. Daniel Thomas McCarthy in absentia. Owen Paul McDermott. Leanne Michelle MacDonald. Kate Bernadette Morgan. Paul Murphy in absentia. Owen Michael O'Carroll. Laura O'Connell in absentia. Shane Luke O'Connell in absentia. Shane Eugene O'Connor. Brian Timothy Dennis O'Donoghue in absentia. Owen Finbar O'Donoghue. James John Gerard O'Keefe. Leanne Helena O'Leary. Louise O'Leary in absentia. Neve Mary O'Leary. Shauna Margaret O'Mahony. David James O'Sullivan. Gary William O'Sullivan. Janice Teresa O'Sullivan. Sean Michael O'Sullivan. Anna Perez Mir in absentia. Patrick Christopher Prout in absentia. Kelly Ann Redmond. Indre Rayakata. Kian William Ring. Helen Churchill. Katie Sarah Shanahan. Neve Mary Stanton. Emily Leanne Sullivan. Lauren Michelle Swanton, in absentia. Dean Liam Tuhig. Colum Gerard Walsh. Michael James Walsh, in absentia. Niamh Claire Walsh, in absentia. Stephen Patrick Waters. Tara Jennifer Whelan. Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Business and Business and Management please stand to receive their ovation? President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Management and Enterprise and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Business in Management, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Teresa Arakri. Najoa Bakali, in absentia. Anna Patricia Banks. Chantal Banakuipi Lebrun, in absentia. Sarah Ann Beacon, in absentia. Connor John Breen. Megan Elizabeth Clune. Christopher Joseph Deasy. Marius Jan Golubiowski. Christine Elizabeth Harrington. Lorna Healy. Daniel Finbar Hennessy. Amy Ann Kelly. Grace Maureen Kelly, in absentia. Martin Lawton. Peter Maloney, in absentia. Paul Daniel Morrissey. David Andrew Nolan. Emer Marie O'Boyle. Jennifer Noel O'Mahony. Adrian Pio O'Regan in absentia. Hannah Oladipupo in absentia. Michelle Marie Raftery. Kira Sargent. Kirk Wolfgang Schultz. Paul Terry. John Tully. Richard Albert Wagner. Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Business in Management please stand to receive their ovation? President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed programmes in the Department of Management and Enterprise and who are worthy of the award of the Higher Certificate in Business, and I would request you to present their parchment to them. Enrico Abelli in absentia. Mid Feroz Al Mamoun in absentia. Azza Matilda Berggren in absentia. Judith Byro. Michelle Broderick in absentia. Martina Bozek in absentia. Alicia Bustello in absentia. Alicia Colgan in absentia. Danny Comerford in absentia. Brona Cotter in absentia. Thomas Cotter in absentia. Cristiano Da Costa in absentia. Fiona Barbara Doyle in absentia. Princewell Igwam in absentia. Aoife Maria Finn in absentia, James Finbar Foley in absentia, Michelle Catherine Galvin in absentia, Eduardo Garbagnati in absentia, Almos Levente Holo in absentia, Mate Elipe in absentia, Michael Tomas Yerkes in absentia, Shauna Keegan in absentia, Margaret Regina Keneally in absentia, Neve Margaret Landers. Neve Margaret Landers. James Robert Little in absentia. Anne-Marie Lenihan in absentia. Christine Marie Lomasny in absentia. Richard Lynch in absentia. Idioma Machi in absentia. Mary Martin in absentia. Gary James McCarthy in absentia. Fergus McGonigal in absentia. John McSweeney in absentia. Graham Edward Moore in absentia. Roy Daniel Moylan in absentia. Barry Cullen Murphy in absentia. Cian Murphy in absentia. Orla Francis Murray in absentia. Eric Nadami in absentia. Antoinette Margaret Noonan in absentia. Louise Noonan in absentia. Lydia O'Callaghan in absentia. Jennifer Lynn O'Connell in absentia. Cara O'Neill in absentia. Owen Daniel O'Regan in absentia. Kate Patricia O'Sullivan. Jeremias Astral Paz in absentia. Daniel Scannell. Anna Slidwoski in absentia, Florinella Tanaze in absentia, Florencia Valacenti in absentia, Kieran James Wall in absentia, Siobhan Walsh in absentia, Kelsey Mary West in absentia, Maria Zabalas in absentia, Radislav Zarowski in absentia. Would the graduates of the award of Higher Certificate in Business please stand to receive their ovation? President, I present to you the following candidates who successfully completed programmes in the National Maritime College of Ireland and who are worthy of the award of Bachelor of Business in Supply Chain and Transport Management. And I would request that you present their parchments to them. Kevin Murphy. Iqbal Shararar. Would the graduates of the award of Bachelor of Business in Supply Chain and Transport Management please stand to receive their ovation?
This concludes this part of the meeting for the purpose of conferring awards on the students of our institute. I now call on the President of the Institute, Dr. Barry O'Connor, to address you.
Thank you very much, Gerard. And when we get a long string of in absences, it always reminds me of the story a few years ago in another institution, not here, where the guy calling out the names was sort of John Murphy in absentia, Tony Murphy in absentia. But when it came to Mary Murphy, he knew where she was. So he said, Mary Murphy in California. So didn't go down too well. But anyway, so you're all very welcome here this morning or this afternoon. It's great to see, apart from the certificate, great to see such a great turnout here. And we can understand when people are in employment, it's not that easy to get off to come in for a graduation. But well done to everybody this morning, this afternoon for graduating. And as I was handing out the parchments there, it's great to see such a high level of achievement amongst so many of you this morning. And you know, it's a proud day. It's a proud day for the Institute, a proud day for yourselves, a proud day for your parents at the back. And I suppose there's a great sense of relief as well from the checkbook owners and the Visa card suppliers at the back of the hall. So, but to be honest, the proudest people here, or among the proudest people here, are not the graduates, but are our colleagues here on the podium, to see such a high standard of graduates coming out flying the flag for CIT. So it's something we pride ourselves on here in CIT, is looking after each student as an individual. And I can guarantee you that every class coordinator, every head of department knows the names and sometimes the address and carry on of each student within their department. And many's a landlady's phone would ring on a Monday morning if somebody hasn't turned up to college. It's what we try and do. We look after our students, and I hope you have taken that on board and taken the message as well from that. We look after our students in a fair and consistent manner, but at the same time, I suppose what we've done, and we've done it successfully, is turn this whole operation of third level education into a partnership with yourselves, because you know your name's on the parchment as an individual graduate of CIT. Is you have done the work. Somebody else back there might have supplied the finance or the car or the nights out, whatever else, but you've actually done the work, gone into the exams, you know, put yourself to the test and come up with flying colours. It's a partnership model that we've developed whereby, you know, we aim towards, in the old days, you kind of put the emphasis on the lecturer and hope that the students were listening. You're aiming for teaching excellence and learner satisfaction. But nowadays, when you come into third level in particular, we've put it around the other way, and it's about learning excellence and teacher satisfaction. Because when you go out there into the workplace, as many of you are out there already, the main thing you bring from a third level education is you know where the sources of information are and how to get them, and you know what questions to ask when you're out there. So that's why here in CIT we develop and we aim the whole time at developing professional and ready graduates. In terms of the employability of our graduates here, particularly in this part of the house and in engineering and science as well, we have one of the highest employability rates in the country, because we don't make any apology for it. Every program we develop, whether it's in the School of Music, the College of Art, or here in the Faculty of Business, it's about training our students, our graduates, to be profession ready. There are a lot of other things, good things about education, which we'll come to in a moment. But here in CIT, at the last count, our degrees are accredited by no less than 47 outside professional bodies, be they in accounting, or it will be in social care soon, in accounting, in leisure management, in medical laboratory technicians, in engineering across the range. So no less than 47 bodies come in here, usually on about a 4-year cycle, reviewing our programs to make sure that our graduates are worthy of becoming accountants or professional engineers or medical lab consultants or whatever. So you're not just graduating from an institute with very high standards from the point of view of academic quality, you're also graduating from an institute that prides itself that everything we do is respected and accepted by the professional bodies out there, of which you're going to become members as you know, as you head off into your professional careers. I suppose another unique aspect of what we do here in CIT is we try and get work placement or work-related projects, community or enterprise-based projects, included in every program. Now, we work here under, I mentioned the QQI Act. QQI is the Quality Authority governing all institutes and all universities in the country. In fact, in governing all further education colleges as well. But QQI works under European rules called European Standards and Guidelines. And the two main innovations in that, or requirements nowadays, are that every program, where possible, should have a work placement. We're doing that already. We're doing a lot of it here in this faculty. The other main development there is that your learning should be student-centred. And again, with us adopting the partnership approach, it is student-centred. Why? Because you, when you were students, were driving your own learning. And it's something that as a Europe are pushing for now. We've been doing it for a long, long time. Why? Because we want our graduates to get employment, but we also want this institute to respond to the needs of the community, to respond to the needs of industry. In that regard, we have the single biggest school of engineering on the island of Ireland. Engineering is a very expensive process, as is tourism hospitality, as is art education, as is music education, science and ICT education. And I have to say here and now that the contribution made by colleagues here in the Faculty of Business in particular has allowed CIT to develop over the last number of years, in spite of the fact that national funding for engineering, the so-called STEM subjects, in spite of the fact that the funding hasn't matched the requirements. But thanks to the great success of the School of Business, we have been able to keep the lights on here, and not just that, but increase the number of students, increase the variety of our programs, increase our research and postgraduate offerings. So there is great credit due to our colleagues here in the School of Business in terms of supporting the activities of the institute as a whole. And we work together as an institute. We all put the shoulders to the wheel to keep the lights on and to keep developing. So well done to our colleagues here this morning in the School of Business, and well done to you for actually choosing to come to CIT and keeping the turnstiles clicking over. And I hope, when you go into your professional careers, that you will reap the rewards of coming to what is a very, very focused institution. And a lot of our colleagues here on the podium and in the classroom, as you would know, would have immense industry experience and ongoing industry contacts and ongoing contacts with the professional bodies, which makes your programs relevant. In fact, whenever a new program is being developed here in CIT, the first question, there are two questions: is it relevant, and are there jobs out of it? And if the answer to those two questions are positive and backed up by evidence, we then proceed to develop the academic content. I mentioned in terms of yourselves here, being graduates, you've done all the work, but you're not just graduating from CIT. CIT is unique in the country for having, I suppose, the biggest range of active working partnerships with other bodies. For example, with UCC, we have at this stage 6 joint awards, 6 awards with UCC and CIT in it on the parchment, which we had there last Friday evening with over 100 graduates in biomedical science, in art education, in architecture, and a new award now coming out in industrial physics. We work with UCC to respond to the needs of the community with the resources that we have and that UCC have. We work with the ETB, formerly the VEC, the ETB, the Education and Training Board. We have formal links with those people in the further education colleges to allow the smooth transition of students from the FE colleges into third level. And it's not just by looking at the CEO points and what we used to call the FETAC points, it is by our colleagues here working on curriculum development with colleagues in the College of Commerce or St. John's or Stefan Efe to make sure that if students wish to carry on from the further education side into CIT, that the programs match each other, such as you're learning the skills there. No, it's not always necessary to come on to third level, but if you want to make the transition, we have formal links between the FE colleges in Cork and ourselves here. Again, that has been held up as a national model, but to my knowledge, nobody else in the country is doing that. Nobody else in the country is doing joint awards. We're doing it because it's our business to respond to the needs of the community and show leadership in those areas. That's UCC, the further education colleges. In the preceding conferring ceremony this morning, we had graduates in agriculture from this College of Business, graduates in both agriculture and horticulture, which have been developed in conjunction with Teagasc down in Dara outside Clonakilty. Again, why? Because there's a need there, and there was a need there to develop ag and hort as businesses. And we've developed that, 2 very successful programs. In terms of our interaction elsewhere, we have strong interaction with the City Council in terms of Blackrock Castle and other activities. It's as a result of those interactions, we hosted a major conference here in Cork in September under the auspices of UNESCO, where over 500 delegates came to Cork to celebrate and to learn from Cork in terms of lifelong learning and developing a learning city. They came here because of the voluntary effort put in over the years through the Cork Education and Training Partnerships, which worked, which has, Cork again has the biggest and most successful lifelong learning festival in Ireland. The 2 previous conferences that were held, one was in Mexico City, the other was in Beijing. But they selected Cork because Cork is so effective as a learning city, because education and learning on a lifelong basis is respected here in Cork, and it is developing the whole time. And a lot of it is down to voluntary effort and the effort of all the institutions involved, but also because of the interest and respect the people in Cork have for learning. In terms of other cooperations, we're working ahead the whole time with our colleagues in the Institute of Technology in Tralee towards establishing a technological university. Now that depends again on where we are in terms of the legislation going through the Dáil, and there'll be more of that coming down the line. In terms of so you're graduating from all these partnerships. We also work with the community in terms of COPE services, for example, where we're now in our 4th year of an advocacy training program with people above in COPE who come in here and again have a graduation ceremony when they've completed their studies. We work through music generation with people like the Sound Out operation, again trying to extend music education across the city. And these are all initiatives that have begun here in CIT or begun elsewhere and actively supported by ourselves because we are part of the community. And I keep saying it, when you drove in here this morning as you were looking for parking, there are no gates, there are no walls around CIT. CIT belongs to the people. It's there for you guys, whether as graduates or members of the community, to come in and make use of the place. So when you're graduating from CIT, you're graduating from all those partnerships. We have partnerships with people like Munster Rugby, in terms of the Munster Rugby Cork branch was here for the last, well, for 5 of the last 6 years. Now we have the Cork Development Squad here. The Cork Senior Hurlers, Cork Senior Footballers, Cork Senior Camogie team, all trained here for the last number of years. What else have we got in terms of sporting connection with the community? You can look at the Cork City Primary School Sports, not Cork City, the Cork Primary School Sports, which is the single biggest outdoor sporting event in Europe. And we have that here for the last 3 years, when the place just is coming down with young aspiring athletes and hopefully young aspiring CIT students who find CIT for the first time, with their parents, grandparents, teachers, coaches and sports psychologists, as they try and win the under 15 and the under 10 races around the place. So like, we are very well connected, and as you guys go out as CIT graduates, you're part of that, as you now call it, the diaspora of CIT graduates around the world. In terms of the whole sporting side of it, again, we have fantastic ambassadors out there like Gary O'Donovan, who won silver in the Olympics last year. We had the two lads, Shane O'Driscoll and Alan O'Donovan, both engineering graduates from CIT. I was going to say from Skibbereen, but they're from Skibbereen as well, but they graduated from CIT, who won world championships last year. In terms of our GA stars, we have a plethora of them, including some Kilkenny people. If you go back to last year's Munster finals, 3 out of the 4 senior captains last year were CIT graduates. You had Steve MacDonald from Glen Rovers, was captain of our successful hurling team, playing against Pat O'Connor from Tuber and County Clare, who thankfully was on the unsuccessful Clare team. Now, Paddy Kerrigan, again, was the captain of the football team, senior football team, which didn't have great success there. But Paddy was heavily involved yesterday in Nemo's win over the Bars. The Bars nearly won it, but anyway, they're nearly, well, as I said, Paddy Kerrigan was involved there yesterday. And on the other side, in terms of the hurling, we had a great servant of CIT hurling, another graduate, John Cronin, winning on the Immokalee side, plus a lot more. Going back to last September, we had no fewer than 2 CIT graduates on the All-Ireland winning ladies camogie team, and 3 current students. So in terms of what we're doing for sport and for the community here in Cork, like, you're coming from a great place. When we started off here, when you guys started off in first year, you did the CIT module, and the CIT module stood for creativity, innovation and teamwork, as I'm sure you know. We were here with an event here last summer, for the whole summer, called the International Space University, and we had a debate here one night in terms of the future of education. And there was a lady sitting next to me who is now in MIT. She's now in Harvard. She had previously been in MIT, and after that she worked for Obama in the White House. And we were explaining the CIT module. She wrote down the details of the CIT module to bring that back to Harvard. So if Harvard are trying to copy us, they'll have a long way to go, but it says something about what we're doing. I was in the Sorbonne about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and again they were showing their international connections. And the first person up on the screen was a student who was studying here in CIT. So if Harvard and the Sorbonne are praising what's happening in CIT, you guys would have no difficulty going out into the world and saying you're from CIT and keeping the flag flying. But if you keep the flag flying, you again go back to the words on our crest, Rishamilla, let us all succeed together. So my hen shiv shemach agus ma vien shiv sasta korula CIT koruna nichela agus vedilish the CIT vedilish tiv hen iroiga braling. It's up to you guys to keep the CIT brand out there. It's up to you guys, when you make your first million, to send a few shillings back to us here in CIT to keep the lights on. But you're part of a great community across the world. You will get an email from us around February, filling in your details as to where you are and whether you're back in education or where you're working or whatever. When you get a chance, fill in that, send it back to us, because that goes back to us then in terms of course design and developing new programs and more relevant programs. Maybe if yourselves, you come back to do a master's or whatever else, or do it online. But it's important that you keep in touch. As you keep in touch with us, you're keeping in touch with each other, you're keeping in touch with generations now of CIT graduates who are out there, and who will look after you, you look after each other. So, fagwe marshine, gwem gachra horav, agus kime shivnis teni dun kapante. So, slanganish.
Thank you, President. I stand between you and lunch, so I'll be brief. Members of the governing body, distinguished guests, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, and visitors joining us via the World Wide Web. On behalf of my colleagues in the Faculty of Business and Humanities, and on my own behalf, I'm delighted to be associated with the President's congratulations and best wishes to you, our new graduates. The School of Business continues to increase its research activity at Masters and PhD level. This year, the Hink Centre for Entrepreneurship Excellence has been successful in completing EU research projects in female entrepreneurship, senior entrepreneurship, and collaborative sustainable innovation ecosystems, and also completed a nationwide review of assessment in entrepreneurship education. The Hink Centre received external funding worth €250,000 through various national and EU projects. Further afield, the Hink Centre was involved in the successful delivery of entrepreneurship education programme for staff and students in Da Nang in Vietnam. Furthermore, CIT and the Hink Centre hosted the European Council for Small Business Entrepreneurship Education Conference in May this year, which attracted researchers and educators from around the world and was a great success. Also in the School of Business, the V-Link Research Centre in the Department of Management and Enterprise has been successful in receiving EU funding for 3 EU projects worth €750,000 this year, and is also collaborating with universities in Colombia and South Africa. The Department of Management and Enterprise continues to work with industry on live assignments for students and also ensure an international experience is available through Erasmus and other partner exchanges. This year, there are mandatory placements on all programs within the School of Business, which will ensure our graduates are work-ready and have practical experience entering the workplace. Entrepreneurship has also been embedded in programs with funding and accredited learning available to students who participate in our annual Studenting program. So our strong program offering, our research activity and industry engagement position us well to take a leading role in the establishment of the new Munster Technological University. I would like to thank our own faculty team, academic, technical and administrative, who helped you on your journey to graduation. And a special thanks to Brian McGrath, Head of the School of Business, and Caroline O'Reilly, Head of the Department of Management and Enterprise. The future looks bright for your graduates, both here and abroad, with the skill sets you've acquired here in your discipline area. But today really is all about you, our new graduates. We're delighted to celebrate the success story really that is each one of you. We acknowledge your achievements, along with the contribution of many others, especially your lecturers, families, loved ones and friends. And graduates, may I ask you to acknowledge all those who helped you in so many valuable ways by applauding them now. We hope you look back with pride on your time here in CIT and continue your learning pathway and consider some of the postgraduate professional and CPD programs in the future. And there was some research this morning in relation to lifelong learning. If you study for a year, you live a month longer. So to the parents and students out there, we have lots of programs on offer here in CIT, so check it out on our CIT website. Before concluding, I'd like to thank the Conferring organising team who ensured this ceremony ran so smoothly and effectively, and also to mention our CIT Open Days, which take place on Thursday the 26th of October in the National Maritime College of Ireland, and also on Friday the 17th of November here in the Bishopstown campus and at the Crawford College of Art and Design, and on Saturday the 18th of November in the Cork School of Music and the CIT Crawford College of Art and Design. And I'd encourage you to ask prospective students to attend these open days. Finally, as it's a day of celebration, enjoy the day with your family and friends and loved ones. As many of you will be attending the graduation ball, it'll probably be a late night of celebration, so enjoy. I invite you all for some light refreshments in the West Atrium at the conclusion of this ceremony. Graduates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this meeting for the purpose of conferring awards on the students of our institute. My best wishes and my thanks to you all.
Please rise while the academic procession leaves the auditorium. Now, I think we'll give Roy, the musician, a great round of applause.